Well, I think when I think about high agency and who I want to be, it's about happening to life and life's not happening to you. And I think with the past 2.5 years, I've grown into that and designing a life that works for me and works for my family. And I think, today is just a snapshot into that, but it certainly is a fair reflection of the life that I think that I've built and the priorities that I have, building around my family and prioritising them in what I do and the flexibility. So very much I think it was a fair reflection of a day that I've designed. Interestingly, like we maybe spoke, maybe it is on camera, maybe it's not on camera, but looking at your strengths and weaknesses and having Dean as a business partner, it's good to be able to bounce ideas off someone else, and we have totally different skill sets and actually utilising those. But I think, look, for me, becoming that might be a later question, but becoming a dad totally changed things, and the priorities shift, and all of a sudden it's not just about me, and there's a greater why for everything. And look, it could be experience, but I want to live my life in a way that I'm there spending those moments with my kids and balancing stuff around it. And it's not easy. Nothing's easy. Parent, it's not easy. Run the business isn't easy. Working for someone isn't easy. But this is the path that I've chosen and feels most comfortable or true to me. And I think that's more and more of what I'm trying to work on, that making sure what I'm doing is not necessarily passion, but like it's true to who I am and gut feelings, as opposed to sacrificing certain elements. So as much as I can to be true to myself is what I'm looking to do. I want to be the best version of myself. That's probably the simplest answer there. I want to fulfill potential's obviously a big word, but I want to fill my potential, whatever that might be. And probably for a number of years I didn't do that, and I almost feel part of me is making up for lost time. And I really want to show my girls that they can do hard things if they put their mind to it, and be the example that ultimately they're proud of. That's what it's all about, like to be a dad that they're proud of, whether that is running businesses, being present for them, being at their plays, being at their sports days, and doing things like high roxes or marathons. Like I want to just be someone they're proud of. Ultimately, that's the basis of it. I think, as I mentioned, becoming a dad totally flips the script. It's all of a sudden not about you. There's a greater why, and that certainly in me, I think I'm very fortunate and grateful to be a dad, and I'll be forever thankful that's it's the greatest gift that I could have received.
Yeah.
But I always felt like I was probably designed to be a dad. Like I felt like that was the natural path for me, and that happening just wasn't an automatic trigger. Don't get me wrong, it's really difficult. Like that's reducing selfishness, and it's all about someone else. But as I say, that greater why, and then it drifted into, well, I was always ambitious, but it almost felt like a need to be more successful, or maybe successful is the wrong word, but financially stable, and we're still on that path. But there was that greater push, and then the health element came in of wanting to look after myself better for my girls. I want to be around. I not only want to be around longer, I want to be able to do the things with them. So I suppose like we're talking now reflectively, and it's just you sort of reflect and think, well, could I refine this, and what could I do better? And there was lots of things I could do better, and I'm still working on it and trying, and it's difficult, but I'm feeling a lot more true to this path that I'm on than maybe before. But that's not to say that at those times that suited me. That was, I enjoyed myself, I had fun. I met Jenny, most of my close friends I've known for years, and that's through socialising, going out and having a good time. So that version of me would still do those things at that age, but I think it's okay for people to change and develop over time. Yeah, no, totally. I think much like today, like today's only a snapshot, and we're probably seeing most of the highlights of today, and that can be true of Instagram or the bits that people see of your life. And I most certainly do not have it together. There's days where it's a real struggle, whether it's getting the girls ready for school or balancing Jenny's busy career and my busy career and our aspirations, and it can be really hard, financially, emotionally. And everybody has outside factors, different things going on, so it's spinning all the plates. I do feel that being a business owner, entrepreneur, having high expectations, it does add a little bit to it, that when you're a high performer, high agency, you expect big things, you're almost putting that additional pressure on yourself, which isn't necessarily helpful, but we can only do our best, right? Like that's, and I think every day, if we're showing up trying to be 1% better, you just keep showing up, just keep doing it. Not every day is going to be pretty, and look, today feels like a really good day. It was productive. We got our training done, we got that content shot, some productive bits with Nightcap as well, so it was a good day. The restaurant functioned and it was decent, so it was a good day. But there can be bad days, and it's how, I suppose it's how we all deal with them and move on, but just trying my best. That's all we can do. Look, that's one of the biggest things I've found so far from doing the podcast and speaking to some of the great guests. It's this constant factor of whatever goal we hit, what's next? What's happening next? And there's part of it I respect, because I'm the same. There's part of it that makes you feel really sad, that are we ever going to be content? And the other factor of speaking to these people is that I feel that we're all seeking contentment. That is kind of what we're seeking, but it feels like it's this like paradox or this fictional thing that we're never quite going to hit. And it's balance, isn't it? Again, I think it's really good to be ambitious, but we need to celebrate the wins, or at least be happy in moments, and not. And that's one thing I really do struggle with. It's constantly what's next. And that's it. Like the way I choose to live my life is totally different to like my parents' generation, or there could be other people in this generation that live their life totally differently. And I'm not saying the way I do it is any better than the way they do it or anything like that. It's just how I'm choosing to through my own personal experiences. And it's, as I said, it's what's going to be most true to yourself. I just think when you see people that are later on in life and they talk about regrets or what would they do if they had one more day, it tends to be, it's not going to be, I'm going to go to work, I'm going to take that meeting, I'm going to, it tends to be I'm going to slow down, I'm going to spend time with, the family and the people that are most important to me and the things that I'm actually enjoying. So sometimes it's about remembering that, and we can all get stressed and stuff is important, don't get me wrong, but there's a greater core there that I think you shouldn't forget. I would hope that they could realise that it was to be the best version of myself for them, and to make them proud, as I said earlier. That's the main thing. I also think that, as I mentioned, being ambitious and wanting more and wanting to be financially stable, want to provide for them, like, they are the core reason of it all, as I had said. But they're enough. Like, I want them to know they're enough. Like, that's the rest of it's kind of irrelevant, as I said there. Like, if you stripped it all back, it's like, it's them. Like, that's the basis of it. So you don't want to be that, so, my dad's always working or whatever, and I think I have that balance good at the minute, and that doesn't mean it'll change in a different season of my life, but right now I think they could appreciate that, or that their dad is there and he's at all these things with them. So hopefully they'll think that was nice, and they're still talking to me in 10 years' time, and they still confide in me and want to do things with me as they do now. So that'll be a big win. Yeah, I think so. It's been a busy day, but it's always good to go home and see their faces. Now, I'll not lie, like I do dread bedtime, because it is, you want that time to sit and decompress yourself, but they want your attention, and they, when you come in the door, they get all, they're excited, and it is lovely. But then trying to wind that down and get them to sleep. But do you know what? It's not going to be forever. That certainly Amelia wants me in her room holding her hand while she goes to sleep, so I should probably enjoy that. Whatever series I'm watching can wait an hour. Right, that's the day at work, boxed off, very productive, and we are now going to head home to the chaos, see what everybody's up to, and hopefully have a successful bedtime. It's been a good day.